Hello and welcome to the latest Think Rugby podcast. My name is Andy Moe and I'm joined with my partner in crime, Zav. How are you, Zav?
I'm doing alright. I can't believe it's just the first one of the year. First, quite possibly could be. But anyway, probably the most important one we've had to date because it's the Six Nations that started just at the weekend. Oh my goodness, I've been waiting so long for it. It came in a lot sooner than I thought actually. Probably because it started in January technically, which it doesn't often happen. It's usually for the first weekend in Feb. But yeah, really good weekend of rugby. It's good to have it back, some international play. And I mean, fixture wise, it was the fixtures went the way they probably should have, but we'll discuss that in just a second. So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok, I think Rugby, and also on X. Please. And yeah, so I mean, with it being the Six Nations, we're going to have absolutely loads of content going out there. So please stay tuned for all that. Turn on notification so when we upload the videos, you're the first one to see our content. Okay. Anything else to add there, Andy? Or did I cover it all?
Absolutely not. I think you covered it there, mate. So, Friday night, it was Wales away to France. I mean, I knew Wales were bad, but holy fuck.
I don't think the selection didn't really help. I mean, I don't know what Garland was playing at. I mean, we've mentioned before, it's almost clear as day that he doesn't want the job, or he just doesn't care anymore. Who in God's name, going into the first test of the Six Nations, plays a guy who's played only a handful of games for Wales, and he's only played one or two other times at fly half for Wales, and he's not been playing fly half for his club? The boy Thomas. Why on earth was he playing fly half? It was very confusing to me. A lot of selections confused me. I mean, Liam Williams back you'd have thought they would have given him a boost, but he was pretty mid, to be fair. If not, he was probably well below average. There was a couple of good performances. My performance from Wales. I mean, Jack Morgan and Tommy Reffell being the only two shining lights in a dark place for Wales. But yeah, and then Thomas Williams as well is usually consistent. But I mean, they're up against France, possibly, arguably the favourites to win the tournament, especially now after that display they just put on show with a team that wasn't even their full strength team, and they went in, nilled Wales, and put 43 points on them. So it was a very convincing win, and very impressive how they played without even getting out of first gear.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, the competition itself, the game, it was over as a competition. I mean, rather by half time. I mean, it was 28-0, I think. Mm-hmm. Maybe, round about that score at half time. And I said before, I say it again, where does the light at the end of the tunnel come from for Wales? I mean, regardless of this Italy result next weekend or this weekend coming, they offer very little. I mean, how many? I couldn't even count how little amount of times they made an entry to the French 22.
Yeah, or even just like building some actually like substantial face play. It was they had no idea, especially in the centre park. I seen them try to like navigate things, and they'll just go and plod back and forth, left to right in the middle of the park, and they'll sometimes just picking and going. And if you're picking and going in the middle of the park, kind of shows you very short ideas, and then they just hoof it away. And then kick execution was poor. You're kicking to Ramos, who's one of the best on the high ball, and you're kicking the ball away to three of the most dangerous players in the tournament. Ramos, Bielberry, and I do apologise, got butcher's name, as a rugby. You know who I mean. The other young lads, about 19, 20 years old, scored 2 tries. I mean, there were 2 walk-ins, but nevertheless, he had to be there and had to catch the ball to score the tries. But yeah, it was very. It's the new Welsh, very Welsh. 13 losses in a row in the tournament. I mean, it's not quite Italy's record, but I mean, it's very poor from a Welsh standpoint. And I mean, that's a heavy defeat, and that's a sore one to take.
Yeah, considering as well that all of the firepower that France had subbed off just after half time. I mean, Yeah, I think it would have just been pure shits and giggles from France if they just took off all their stars. Like the greatest of all time player, Antoine Dupont, at half time. He didn't need to grace the pitch in the second half at all.
He didn't even need to start, to be fair, but they just did it because, well, Dupont's Dupont. I mean, his performance itself, I mean, like, you see that why he's the best player in the world, but people need to kind of not get carried away with the fact that he didn't still make mistakes. And if he's doing some silly mistakes like that against a team like Ireland, say, or even a very, very good on form, on point Scotland, then he might just get caught out and found out. It just so happened against Wales, which probably made him look a lot better than that. Actually, like what he is, and yeah, of course he's like I say, he's the best player in the world. But folk are giving him that goat status. It's like fuck off, man. You kicked the ball straight into touch, thinking his winger would be there. It's like he didn't even look up. He wasn't even scanning properly. It's like they missed the yes, okay, the team game, and maybe a player should have been there, but at the same time, he should be reading the play a bit better in that aspect. But that's just nitpicking. Other than that, he had a very, very, very good performance. But yeah, come on, guys. The goat greatest of all time so far. I mean, what is he, only 27, 20 years old? Give it a rest. Until he wins maybe a few more Six Nations and wins possibly a World Cup. Not that it's like the be all and end all World Cup, because it's very hard to do. But definitely a few more Six Nations and a few more individual accolades to go as an player of the year. Then we'll start talking. What
Yeah,
about,
fair enough.
what about the best? Like you mentioned, the best of the Finnish team. Like some of those names, like I've seen it, but like you're missing players like Olivon. I mean,
Echo.
Fiku, Donty wasn't there. See boys that were there last year, like absolutely like nailed on starters for France. More fun, I think, possibly came on. Uh, Even the wingers, like I mean, the depth of the wingers. Peno wasn't playing. I mean, well, and Tarmac was back, but that's him now out again, but he's suspended. Assumed for
I on that, I cannot fathom you're cruising at home, opening weekend of the Six Nations. Why would you leave your shoulder? Because just why?
silly. It's so silly. Like you've got nothing to prove. Like there, it's not even like I think was it on Jack Morgan never fell. I could be completely wrong with that one. Just rings a bell. But it's like you've got nothing to prove there when you're so far up. You could so semi justify and understand it if it's a very very tight game and you try to close out a game and you've got to try to like injure one of their key players. It was just so stupid. But I mean, what a shame. They've only got Thomas Ramos that can play at fly half, so it's not like they're going to be missing it too much. I think in Tarmac he had a quite quiet game, but it's probably because Dupont kind of ran it all. To be fair, but I mean you can't fault it. Yeah, you can't fault Dupont's performance. You can't really blame Ramos for that. But other than that, yeah, France were just like relentless. Big ball carriers, big hard runners, and yeah, they just didn't stop. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they go. They're definitely one of the favourites, and I think Wales are definitely favourite to lose the whole thing. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. What
Yeah,
about
definitely. I mean, like before the tournament even kicked off, for me, using my head and my heart, I probably would have said France would be favourites to win, just for a number of different reasons. And you know, it's going to be a lot of pressure on a lot of head coaches for this campaign. I mean, we've alluded to it earlier. Gatland. I mean, if they don't win any single games in this Six Nations campaign, I think he's going to be out. Similarly, Galtier, if France don't win it, I mean, they should, but if they don't, I struggle to see how he keeps his job. Borthwick with England, if they have another uninspiring campaign, finish fourth, same with Townsend, both them two will be gone. So there's a lot at stake this season.
very much is a performance-based business, like especially like, more so than ever. It's a good position to be in. Not so much for the coaches with all the pressures on them, but it really does make it interesting, and teams kind of face up to that, and coaches face up to that. Scotland game, that was the first game on the Saturday. Yeah, it was. Oof, oof. That's how I describe that game. Oof.
I disagree.
What?
I disagree.
Okay then, let's hear it.
Well, I thought, other than the last 15 minutes, Italy offered absolutely bugger all in an attacking sense. I thought Scotland came out the blocks extremely well in the beginning of the first half. They were getting a couple of tries on. Yes, Italy kept in touch with the kick-in, but I think it was 3 visits to Scotland's 22 by like an hour or something. I was like, no, they're not at the races here. Yes, it was a battle with the forwards, and yes, the pressure was on, but Scotland, yeah, it went 19-9 to 1919, and Scotland dug out of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to say 2 things about that, which I do agree with. Like, it was a comfortable kind of victory in the sense of like it never looked like losing apart from one little blip. But 2 things: scoreboard pressure, far too many penalties, and kickable ranges, which Italy did capitalise on, and then came back to the game, and being very very Scottish and allowing teams to come back into the game. Thankfully, it wasn't a team like Ireland, England, or France. That's all I'm going to say to it.
But I mean, it's fair enough saying, "Oh yeah, it's a bit Scottish letting teams back in." That's the nature of elite level rugby these days. I mean, that's why I cringe whenever I hear, "Oh yes, 80-minute performance by Scotland." That there is about as good a performance, certainly for the first week of the Six Nations, you can expect to get. The only thing I would say about Scotland is it was 4 or 5 tries they left out in the pitch that they should have gotten that they didn't, and they need to stamp that out. And I agree with you, the penalty count, certainly from a defensive point of view, not good enough against better teams. And yes, against the likes of your Ireland's and France, yeah, we will get punished. But for the first round of the Six Nations, solid is what I would describe Scotland as.
I would say it's solid. Maybe like my reaction is like it was just so close. Like at one point, so close, it was like, oh shit, what's going to happen here? But like I say, it would never really look like losing apart from maybe for like 5%, 10% of that game overall, which is pretty good, a good position to be in. But I think people still sleep on Italy just a little bit. I don't know why, because I think they've probably got the best. Now they've got the best centre partnership in the tournament because Tuipulotu's out. They've probably got the best centre. Manicello and Brex, I'm telling you, they were so good. Even on Saturday, they were very, very good. And they'll definitely unlock other centres and defences in the weeks to come. But yeah, it was steady enough. I mean, I think maybe at 9, the debate at 9, I mean, George Horn came on and kind of lit the game up a little bit. That's right. Did George Horn come on? Aye.
Yeah.
He did come on. I think that kind of sparked the game up a little bit. I mean, you could argue that maybe Price should have maybe came on off the bench, but obviously he's not selected. He would have probably like seen the game out and whatnot. Sorry, I can't take it. So as a joke, by the way. Yeah, George Horn's definitely the obvious choice. He's so good coming off that bench, and he just comes as a different kind of element, and his elements to his game changes things up. And him, and then I mean Darcy Graham seems to kind of go up a gear as the game goes on as well. I mean, it wasn't his try, but it was an assist when they took it all the way out. And I to start myself thinking, what are they doing? They're quite kind of being a bit risky here. To go all the way out, Graham hell of a step, and then through, and he assisted for, was it Tom Jordan?
No, I think it was for Hugh Jones. Tom Jordan didn't get a try.
Hugh Jones hat trick. That's right. That's another one. Like I was kind of thinking, Darcy Graham could have got more in the match. Robbie Darge could have got more in the match. But it's the fact that Hugh Jones got more in the match because of the hat trick. I also would have given it to Robbie Darge. I thought he played out his skin.
I don't know. I see why somebody would go for the likes of Darge or Graham. I mean, they were like the top, like all 3 of them, by far the best players on the park. Mm-hmm. But for me, Hugh Jones, outstanding. I thought he had a brilliant game, and he's got to have some turn of pace to try and keep up with Darcy Graham, especially with his unpredictability about where he's going to land next. But no, touching on the substitutions, I thought everybody came on and was exceptional. I thought Rory Sutherland in particular was night and day for Scotland to what he was for Glasgow. I think he's really struggled for form since the Lions. That's probably his best performance I've seen him since he came to Glasgow. Or back to Scotland, rather, playing for Glasgow.
How would you sum up Russell's performance?
He'll be disappointed that he didn't get all of his kicks. But I think he'll obviously know that there's things to work on. But again, I would give him a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. I think he was just maybe trying to do a bit much. I mean, there was a couple of offloads that just were not on, and he got. I think in the space of maybe 20 minutes, he did 3 errors and like two missed passes, one knock on when he tried to get the ball out with offload. I mean, that is just Russell though. That is you kind of take it because it's him.
But I remember 2 years ago when we bet England with that Van der Merwe wonder try. Russell was exactly the same. He was good, sloppy, but good in the sense of things was okay. And in the following week, he completely tore Wales to shreds. So
yeah, so I just think you take him at face value. You take it as it is. Like I mean, it's very good when it comes off, but then again, like I guess it comes back to it's happened. Just get on with it. Next job, and I mean, the pressure was on him. To be fair, maybe that was another underlying factor. The pressure was on him with Tupelo being out. I mean, people don't speak about it. Well, they do speak about it a lot, but maybe don't fully understand how influential Tupelo actually is. I mean, he is probably the most informed player in the world right now.
He's the best 12, I would say, before his injury in the world.
Yeah, definitely best 12 in the world on form. And but also I'd say just on form in general, like and how he's playing, best player in the world. I mean, you have actually got DuPont as well, so that maybe there's a debate there. But form wise, not actually just like who is the best on correct form. It probably was Tupelo, I'd say, with his performances, but huge loss. But McDowell did all right. I mean, it's noticeable that he's not quite Tupelo, but I kind of know. Depends what kind of game we want to play. Maybe Tom Jordan will get a stab at 12. You never know. Or maybe Tom Jordan will get a stab at 10. See, maybe Townsend's not happy with the way Russell.
No, I think the only change Townsend will make unless there's an injury, Tom Jordan at 12. But I don't know. I suppose maybe Tom Jordan's better to make an impact later in the game and try and wrestle something out of the game. If, like how things was going, you go 19-9 to 19-19, Tom Jordan would be better to come in and not steady the ship, but try and just,
adds a different dynamic.
Dig deep kind of thing is what I'm trying to say.
And you know what? That's what Scotland's been missing. And actually, so much value having that kind of depth coming off the bench. It really does, and Scotland's missed that for a long, long time. Actual folk that are better come off the bench, not just there because they're fresh legs. Of course they're fresh legs, but they're more than just that. Okay, I think we kind of covered all bases about Scotland, Italy game.
Do Scotland beat Ireland next weekend?
Nah.
No.
Nah. No way. I don't care if it's somewhere field. Nah, no way.
Well, I have to say, I mean, we'll come on to how Ireland played, but I don't know. I think this 11th attempt, or whatever it is for Townsend, might just be the one. This is the one. I mean, I said earlier, France with my head and my heart for winning the tournament. If Scotland are to win the tournament, like this game on Sunday against Ireland will determine a lot of things, and it's if we beat them, then it's yes, we're up for the title. If we lose to them, forget about it, get rid of Townsend basically. I see very little point. One, if we don't win the tournament, but I think it'll be such a knocking of the stuffing out, if we were to lose to Ireland, I think it could completely ruin our campaign.
Match week 2 as well. But never mind. Ireland vs England though. Atmosphere seemed alright. The game itself was a bit but it had its moments. I mean, James Lowe, you know what's something I think he is. I would say slowly. He's quickly become the most unlikable rugby player on the planet. I actually think it's disgusting. He just literally tries to find a scrap every single second. It's like professional rugby, man. You're not going to swing for somebody. What's the point? What is
Also,
absolutely
he's a winger looking for a fight. I mean, front row, second row, I'd be like, yeah, I could see why. But it's not like you're constantly hitting rucks or anything.
no, but you know what? Actually, like at least he's got the gift of the gab, but he's also got the ability to match with it. He is actually one. I mean, I think he'll be on Andy Farrell's wing, and definitely the playing probably starting on the wing for Andy Farrell. He is a very very good player, and I mean that try that Ireland, there was a Tideburns try, I think it was, when he was like sitting behind the pod and he's popped up. That I mean, he's so slick with it, and he's a big lad, but he's so slick with it. And he's very utilised very well with his big left boot. Yeah, okay, he kicked a couple directly into touch, but when it does come off, he's got one of the biggest boots in the game. And he's so hard, he's so evasive and hard to take down as well. He did for a couple of the tries. He was the reason why, like he was that final link, for like that final pass. I think it was 2 assists he got into the game, which is, I mean, huge. I mean, Ireland did just win by 2 tries at the end of the day. 1 try, sorry, it was 27-22. I didn't realise, because I watched on catch up, but I didn't realise how far behind England actually were in the last 5 minutes, or the last 10 minutes. They were actually like, 17 points behind, or something like, or 15 points behind. Managed to get 2 tries and conversion to make it, to actually get a losing bonus point. So fair play to England for sticking out and actually doing that, because later on in the tournament, you never know, that bonus point might come so handy. I'm choking now. Ugh.
It's not like it. Yeah, I thought Ireland, they were really poor in that first half, but they did eventually grind out what was quite an impressive victory by the end. But yeah, that I don't know. There's something not just quite right with Ireland. There's something just not clicking. I mean, if they find it to click, then there will be a real force to be reckoned with, but they're just not. They've not been the same since that game against South Africa in the summertime.
It could be because of Sexton, he's gone. I know. To be fair, Sexton's been gone like longer than that. But like with Prendergast, like they're trying to make Prendergast like the guy. He's still only 21 or he's 22 now. Whatever. He's still very young to be leading that ship, especially Ireland. The quality they are. So I still pick Crowley just now, but they're obviously trusting the process and back in the system. Yeah, but I think Prendergast is great. Don't get me wrong, he's a brilliant rugby player, but he doesn't. He needs to take up the line a little bit more. That's one thing I've noticed. But I think it's because he's so physical. He does get picked on, a bit like how Sexton got picked on. But Sexton did take up the line, and he would like front up and take the hit. Probably why he was injured half his career. But but literally, but yeah. So Prendergast, he's a very similar but also quite different. He's got a different element to his game compared to Sexton. He doesn't do all those looping things that Sexton used to love doing. Sexton is very good at that actually, but he's got very good pass.
Did you not watch the game where Prendergast quite literally took a rap, or for those who watch football, a 1-2, and set up a try down the left hand side?
No, he probably did, but I'm saying like Sexton did it a lot. Like that was like Sexton's like signature.
Yeah,
thing to do. That's what I'm trying. Sorry, maybe my wording there was a bit off, but that's like Sexton's like signature thing to do. And yeah, Prendergast. I mean, he's got the skills. He's got the boot for the size of him. What a boot he's got! Oh my goodness, pure technique, just spiraling it down. Aye, brilliant player. But I think Crowley probably will start next week, possibly. But again, that's a good position to be in because it's 2 different fly halves, slightly different game styles. Not game styles, but ways of playing. Crowley can take up the line a bit more. He can still be that carry option if needed. But Prendergast just got used as a bloody crash test dummy for all the Lawrence a couple of times. It's an easy target to run into. But no, again though, England, I feel it was Borthwick is to blame for why they were so far behind in that game. As you see like, later on in the game when they had their subs on, which in my opinion some of them should have started, it maybe wasn't coincidence why they scored 2 tries and came nearly, well, they ran out of time, but they were coming back into it, is because, well, Cunningham South, for one, why is he not starting? I really think he should be starting. He's pulling one English. He's also, again, he's line's quality. He's such a good player. And also Finn Baxter. Why was Genge on for, both Stuart and Genge, they were on for so long. They were absolutely cooked. Absolutely cooked. They needed off a lot sooner than they actually got taken off. I can't remember what minute it was, but it was far too late for them. Baxter should have been on so much faster, and he wasn't. And again, in terms of scrums, in terms of everything else, just keeping up with the play, it was too late. absolutely too late. I know offence to Genge, but a front rower is just like a 50-minute, 60-minute max player. That's all you should be good for. And then Genge was playing for longer than that, I'm pretty sure. I think it was up to the 70-minute mark. But never mind. Same as Theo Dunn. I thought Theo Dunn would have maybe started, but it was Kevin Dickey started. But again, it's what it is. I mean, Borthwick's the coach. They are getting better. That's the thing. You see the shape. The missed slight home, the missed field, but also they had Freeman and Morley in the wing. I mean, it wasn't like a scratch team, but it wasn't like their strongest team by any stretch.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I did think that England would improve this year compared to last year, but I just don't think that the style of play that the English fans want to see with the players that England have got at their disposal and Steve Borthwick and his kind of philosophy around the game and his tactics, I don't think that's going to be a mix that, one, will lead them to winning anything, and two, lead them to progress much more. I mean, I don't think they'll get better than third this year, and that's not good enough for the English.
I think third's acceptable. I think Borthwick will keep his job going third. I mean, any lower, then you're kind of begging the question. But can England afford to pay him out his contract? They just sold the bloody Twickenham. Now it's called Allianz Arena, whatever it's called. They're desperate for money. Are they actually going to pay him out the contract?
Depends on the circumstances. I mean, yeah, you correct. Yeah, third might be enough. Depends on the manner of their campaign.
Okay, I can get behind that. If it's again, if they show more progression, but I mean, if they do fumble it, who should they beat? They should beat Italy.
I'm not sure about that.
They should beat Wales.
Yes.
They should beat Italy. If they're aiming for third, they should beat Italy, because Italy will be gunning for maybe fourth, third at very most. If they're going for third, they've lost Ireland. It's either got to be France or Scotland. They've got to beat one of them two.
They're not going to beat France next weekend.
They've got to be Scotland then. They've got to be Scotland, bottom line. You've got to win 3 games to get third. Under extreme circumstances, that's not necessarily the case. But in most cases, 3 games to come third. Do you think they've got to do it?
No.
I don't know. We'll see.
It might be me being biased and me being Scottish, but no, I can't see England beating Scotland. I just can't.
I can't comprehend it either. See, now we're not really used to it anymore, which is, I mean, that's lovely. I remember growing up how depressing it was. So it wasn't are we going to win? It was how much are we going to lose by?
Let's enjoy the national anthems for our day out.
That's literally full of hope, but I don't know. I just worry about not having 2 Piloto there for when we play any team really, but especially England. I mean, it's pride at stake. Okay. Right, what games this weekend? I don't actually know.
This weekend Scotland are rather at home to Ireland, and that's on Sunday.
Yeah.
France play England, and Italy play Wales.
Italy-Wales would be interesting. Actually, all those games are interesting, actually.
Yeah. That Italy game will be in Rome.
Yes, we do it. Which should be exciting again. Rome's alright. Like stadium, back in the day, stadium was a bit dead, but now they're getting better, probably getting more fans down, whatnot, but supporters down. But really good. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to Rome, I suggest go to Rome, because it's a lot nicer over there this time of year than it isn't here. So definitely suggest it. I've been once and it was brilliant. I've also been to Wales and it was brilliant. And I've also been to France, but I was for the World Cup, not 6 Nations. Also been to Murrayfield and it was brilliant. Very cold, but brilliant. So yeah, but definitely.
Yeah, at least there's not like 40-mile-an-hour winds daily like there is up here.
No, you'd be right, and I think you're very daft to move to the Shetland, as you've maybe found out. But oh well, never mind. It's not actually that what. It's not much better here, to be fair. I'm just a little bit down from it. Well, actually a fair bit down in the northeast of Scotland. But anyway, Scotland. It's windy and cold wherever you go. Okay, right. That's all from me. I'm choking again. No jokes. That's all from me. You got anything else to say?
Nothing. Just you just go away and choke. You know how to choke.
Mm-hmm. Okay, indeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, folks, just thank you for tuning in. Apologies for the absence, but things happen in life.
We are back.
Hit the subscribe button, do all that usual stuff, and check out all our socials in the description. Thank you for watching.
Appreciate it, guys. Bye bye.